Blue as we get into Champion Select here for game number 1 of the final series of the week. Could be a scoreline evened out here by the DN Soopers if they're able to pick up a victory, but it will only be their second of the season. And we are into round 2. If they continue down the losing path here, I mean, the only real option is going to be Rise Group, and even then, it's going to be a very difficult task, especially with the uprising of teams like Kium DRX taking down Nongshim earlier on, looking really good, and the Bros looking absolutely fantastic in their previous series.
And KT has had a bit of a drop-off, right? But no one has had the drop-off that BNK FEARX has had since LCK Cup.
Wait, the thing is, were they even... I guess they were kind of all right in LCK Cup.
I mean, they went to the finals.
Yeah.
And now...
Oh, right. BNK FEARX. I thought we were talking about the DN.
Oh, no. I mean, DN Soopers had a bit of a jump, right? Like, they did okay. We believed for a second. And
they had a trip, whereas, BNK FEARX, they had a fall.
Yeah.
To use that
Sorry
phrase.
if I misspoke there.
No, you're all right.
As Jarvan will be the first pick here for the Soopers, which makes a lot of sense. So we usually see this responded to with an Ezreal pick from a lot of our teams, especially on the east side of our standings. We'll see if BNK will follow suit here.
Annie, priority. Is it going to be there? The answer is no.
This one, at least not with the Lucian Milio getting locked early. As this has been a bit of a change, feels like the first big prio shift we've seen this season is actually the Lucian pick. And it will be played into the Ashe Seraphine, the waiting arms of deokdam and Life.
I do think that if you're going to play into this lane with anyone, though, Lucian Milio do pretty well. Raptor is looking to head towards the Pantheon. He will lock that one away. So I'm very intrigued, actually, about how Ashe Seraphine versus Lucian Milio does go. Just feel like the way Milio plays out in the, after level 6s are being gained, you do kind of mitigate a lot of that CC.
I love Pantheon with Lucian Milio because you have additional CC that Milio doesn't consistently provide, and you have extra burst, which Lucian loves, and it works so well with Lucian in tandem to get those initial bursts onto targets before the fights break out. The Jace ban here is going to prevent Clear from blinding that, as he does have first rotation. Then they could save counter pick for VicLa. As the Azir and Akali bans towards Clozer are kind of on opposite sides of the spectrum of what Clozer could be potentially looking to pick up here, so I find that very interesting. His Akali is very good. His Azir is also solid. Ryze was the one that you're most worried about with Pantheon because of the side lane power and the threat Pantheon can follow up with.
But VicLa
just plays Annie, though, yeah.
Yeah,
it's perfect with Lucian. I don't really know why they banned the Ryze. Yeah, I know why they banned the Ryze, but I think Annie was much more appropriate, I should say.
Yeah, I would agree. I think, Ryze Pantheon is worth denying, but I don't know. Renekton and Aurora are both going to be locked away here.
We have seen
Aurora do decently well into the Annie.
I think now we know that Clozer is just saying, I am going to crush this matchup with my Aurora, and I don't think VicLa has the hands to stand up to it, and that's why we're going to let him play it. We're going to set a trap in this way. I don't know if I agree with that sentiment, not necessarily in terms of Clozer beating VicLa in a 1v1 in the mid lane, but in terms of what the risk is for the comp that has Pantheon point click, Annie basically point click, and then Lucian follows up and does the boom boom damage real fast, and target dies.
Yeah, this is feeling like a very, very comfortable draft for BNK FEARX.
It's so simple.
Yeah, the skill floor is quite high. Let's just say that. On the side of the DN Soopers, I think that this is a really nice comp, right? Like, we've seen this work before. I am a little bit worried about the handbag in the top lane, but DuDu, he had a part of a year earlier on. Maybe he can continue that.
I think the blind Renekton into the Gnar also opens you up to a lot of problems, but that's why, the Jace ban came through, and then they just kind of turned it on its head and pulled the Annie out, which they expected, and they counterpicked the Aurora for. I think it's quite complex what DNS have to do, but their comp in isolation is also an amazing comp. And Clozer is really good, right? Like, he's a great Aurora player, but this team has just had so many issues in coordinating and setting up complex drafts that even though it's great on paper, I wonder about the execution.
I'm a little bit worried as well, but I am very interested in how these compositions are going to clash. Can the DN Soopers stop their plummet into the abyss? Let's find out right now. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift for the final series of the day. But game number 1, don't worry, there's going to be plenty more League of Legends coming up. It's Clozer versus VicLa. Clozer, of course, formerly of BNK FEARX himself, did really sort of make the play style.
Yeah.
I felt like Clozer really did kind of embody
Absolutely.
the let's just go in theme that this team has had for quite some time.
I feel like that was the kind of mantle was picked up by Raptor when he joined this roster.
Yep.
But I do agree, Clozer was kind of the one who was the instigator, let's say, of a lot of their aggressive plays.
Yep, him and Croco.
I do wonder if Life, when he saw the Jarvan first pick, was like, is this a flex?
He probably did
play
say
Callista, right? As I always associate Life with those two support picks in his heyday, the Jarvan and the Set. That basically only he played past their prime. Like, both of those picks were kind of niche fringe picks that we saw in the support role, but Life was like, no, they're forever picks. I'm going to play them. We haven't seen that in a while, and I do wonder what his ceiling is going to be so far this season, because again, we've only seen one game, 8 games total for the year here domestically, and he's been hibernating. So what current form looks like is yet to be seen.
Yeah, is it hibernating in a hyperbolic time chamber, though? You know, has he been charging up the power? That is the kind of question. As right now, they are certainly laning very well, but that is something that this composition, this lane can certainly do in the Ashe Seraphine. It's kind of what it's picked for. And they are just going to cruise towards the bottom lane. All right, Taeyoon and Kellin probably looking for a few extra buttons, right? You are certainly reliant on a few extra combos, try and make stuff happen. But I feel like Milio doesn't get to utilize a lot of his power until later on in this lane, because you're not stopping all-ins or anything like that. Firekick can be fantastic at sort of denying inroads. If Pyosik does get involved, then that could be an option here, but outside of that, not going to be worrying about a Seraphine jumping on top of you.
Yeah, I think it's best into the Renekton, trying to get on top of somebody.
Oh, yeah.
As he does kind of come at you in a single line, and everyone else kind of stays away and then hurts you. In Pyosik's case, he just comes in too quick to stop in most cases. Can be a defensive tool, but he's got the Cataclysm for extra mobility. And this lane here, because it is a Lucian into an Ashe Seraphine, is not dominating the way a Lucian lane often would, which is why they were willing to leave that one up and then just slam down the counter pick Ashe Seraphine themselves. Odin, like that was the game plan all along, as we are going to finally see an aggressive trade.
Yeah, these all-ins could actually work out here for the Lucian Milio, but you can see it's DNS that are standing their ground. Taeyoon turns around, though, and I'm not sure about that one as the buttons do come back.
They're baiting, though. Here comes the Pantheon. Let's see if Life and deokdam can realize quickly enough.
They certainly have realized. The question is that quickly enough part of it. As Taeyoon does back away. There's the flash in. They get the flash out of deokdam, but that's first blood going over to Raptor, and no answer here from Life, as Taeyoon was so incredibly low and is also able to throw an Ardent Blaze towards Life, who is definitely dead, ladies and gentlemen. It's just going to take a little bit of time.
Yeah, I mean,
unless he blast cones his way to Narnia, it might be a way to do it.
I think he actually gets the execute.
Ooh,
it doesn't get that, but I think it's still enough time.
One more shot. There it is. Nicely done. So he was dead. He just wasn't giving money to the enemy team.
Yeah, it's a big win to deny that money, but it also is a small loss that's going to take him a little bit longer to get back to lane. But this early on in the game...
Why is it that Life is so good at death, Wolf?
Don't do it. I know that's like his Twitch chat name. You can't say that. We're not allowed to say those.
No, but he was really good at it. He died the right way. You know, he was definitely going to die, but he did it well.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Know what I mean?
I thought you were kind of insinuating that this was his fault.
No,
I think
no.
This is an issue here because A, they don't have vision and they're pushing up aggressively, but B, it's more about like Raptor waited and the timing was quite tricky. I think they were like, oh, I think the danger has passed, and then it had not, and then they died. Well, eventually.
Wait, wasn't Gnar just on a losing streak? Now he's on a 5-game winning streak?
Look, times change.
That's
champions can change, and not just through patch notes. Look at this.
Wasn't Pantheon like able to win before?
Yeah, he's not doing a lot of that right now, and his priority has dropped heavily.
His win rate as well, 45% is not what I would have chosen if you had have given me another trivia question.
Yeah, it's wild, but it has opened up a lot of drafts, which has made me happy that he's no longer just in every single draft.
Ooh, bit of an attempted engage here from Taeyoon, but takes a lot of damage back and is outranged by the Ashe. So deokdam and Life still doing fine, even though there is a bit of a deficit, given the fact that Taeyoon did help grab that first blood. That money going over to Raptor, I think, is a big deal. I also think that like Pantheon is a uniquely good pick for Raptor because it has a button that says don't take damage.
It's very good for him because that's why Nefiri is so good for him as well, because it's the same kind of thing.
Yep. You do have the denial button, although Raptor does tend to take things a little too far on that pick specifically.
Like, we don't talk about that one bottom dive.
We're not going to talk about
that. That felt like the beginning of the BNK being not in a great spot in the standings, as look, this draft here for BNK, very easy to play. We talked about it, and the Pantheon lines up with the Lucian burst, the Annie burst so well that even though I also kind of agree with that loss streak and the win rate, that it's probably time to you know, not hang the Pantheon up completely, but definitely move it down in prio. I think this draft is one where it excels because of the simplicity of it and how it chains with the other parts.
I love it alongside of Gnar and Annie as well. Like the top side of the map really is, for me, the real clincher when it comes to allowing this Pantheon to perform. But it used to be that he was just blind pickable in every composition. Now I feel like you do need comps like this that have a lot of extra follow-up and all that sort of stuff. And just the straight-up CC is really important to make sure that he's not ulting in and there's no one there and just looks a bit silly, which I feel like we saw a fair bit of last time he was on the Rift.
Now we're starting to see a lot more Lulu, right, and Milio's in the meta. I think that Pantheon in the very beginning of the season was just kind of like, oh, if you got the winning bottom lane and you have a Pantheon, all right, like, guess we just dive repeatedly, get our AD carries. And now the bottom 2v2 is a little bit more volatile, even though he did get the early kill here because there was a bit of an overextension. It's not as free for Pantheon to explode into the early leads that we've seen so much this year. And he is, though, in this game, quite in that state. And he's quite away from this mid lane.
There's the ulti, and VicLa had flashed already. He's very, very dead as he's put into the Cataclysm. Life takes a full culling, though, as the flash in from Taeyoon onto deokdam. He gets underneath the turret. He still had the arrow, so he was waiting for Taeyoon to potentially overstep, as Kellin was only level 5. Wouldn't have been able to save him.
Raptor's flash is coming back. I don't know how many seconds away it is.
Oh, so close. Barrier is going to be there, though, from deokdam. Make sure that he stays alive.
If Raptor has flash there, he might have been able to force that, but just a few seconds away, has it now. But it is still going to be a plate going over. Still a successful play here.
Yeah, lots of money actually denied here.
And I kind of, you know, I feel like this is basically dead even how this trade went, because a lot of farm is denied, a lot of money goes over to Lucian, but also the Aurora becomes a bigger problem here in a matchup that they got Clozer this counter pick for, so they want to play through. So I want to say both teams really got what they were looking for there. And luckily for DNS, they didn't lose any members there. Otherwise, obviously, the pendulum would have definitely swung into BNK's favor in a massive way. But they do escape. They can come back to farm. It's only a, like, what, wave of deficit here for CS for deokdam. It's just that early kill and the plate gold that's the problem.
Yeah, Taeyoon has been able to utilize a fair bit of the denial that he's been thrown out, as that's a pretty arrow that otherwise isn't going to do too much. As Clozer is clearing out the wave, Raptor will spot Pyosik here, as he does have that control ward down. Looks like Pyosik is just going to wander back towards his side of the jungle. So things do calm down momentarily. The gold lead is non-existent. And even though VicLa died, he's an Annie. He's also VicLa. I feel like VicLa is very, very good at just not really caring if you chain punish him in lane.
Yeah, no, because he's been chain punished in lane here in the LCK quite a lot.
He's an expert.
And, I mean, he has played picks like the Morgana to great success where he's like, well, I'm not doing anything early, but later I will hit that 1Q and win the game.
Oh, Raptor thinking about trying to get a bit of a punish off, but Clozer hadn't flashed in that last exchange, and so isn't under too much threat.
This game, I think, in part, is very slow because these two teams, the stakes are incredibly high, right? Like, you still have your sights set on getting into the Legend Group somehow, right? Like, I think in your heart of hearts, obviously know it's unrealistic if you're DNS at this point, but BNK are only one win ahead of them. But this is the matchup that's like a must win. You know, you cannot lose this one. If you mess this up for any reason, like your morale, which is already in big question, is definitely going to take a huge hit. So,
not to mention that even if you accept the fact that you're in the Rise group, these are the teams you're going to keep facing off against, right? Once we do get into that, you know, divided mode here in the LCK, you need to show that you can be the top of the Rise group at least. And at least it's the most entertaining group, as we all know. You know, there is a Rise group supremacy type mindset that you can have that is legitimate.
And you know what? If you want to ask the question, is it better to be last place team in a Rise group or first place team in, or sorry, last place in Legend or first place in Rise? Come over here and I will slap you because I don't want to have that conversation anymore.
I would definitely prefer to be first place.
I think almost
everyone except for D+ thinks that.
Yeah, we're not starting this discussion.
I'm happy to start it.
Nope.
Although I do feel like I finished it. I think that's just the objective truth, you know.
You can't bait me, Atlus.
Everyone just likes winning more. As Arrow is going to get a flash out, that's pretty good. And now the Pantheon's in a lot of trouble. Presses the Aegis button, and he should be all right. Great encore, but that is going to be mitigated by Kellin, or at least it was for a little while, as VicLa finds a stun with an Incinerate, but that's not doing quite enough here, and Raptor is going to get torn to shreds. The DN SOOPers finding a beautiful angle in the bottom side.
Such a clean fight for them, and such a weird, almost Lemmings-like trickle for BNK going into it. DNS pick up a massive win here. That lead for the Lucian has plummeted, and the lead for the Aurora has doubled. So we talked about this comp. Look at where VicLa is. Look where he is. Oh, you can't see him on the screen? Still can't see him? Oh, you can see him a little bit. He ain't here, Atlus. And this composition, we talked about how simple it is to play, but it's one CC leads to another CC, the burst comes through and you win. But if you don't have your big tools and they've got their fed Aurora, well, now she's really fed, but she was significantly ahead. You can't win those fights, and they decided to opt in anyways, when I think the answer to the question of should we go in here, should we actually opt in, this should have been to get out.
Yeah.
Or at least try to buy time for VicLa to get in there, but VicLa he was in another world. That's how far away he was.
And the problem is as well, is they invested so much into that. Taeyoon has a serrated Dirk for like no reason at all, just for a bit of extra lane power, and they just lost. And so he had a lead, and now it's gone.
Yeah, now he's just put himself behind.
Exactly, he's put himself even further behind.
His gold lead is fake, basically.
Is he going to go like Collector second Lucian? Oh, that would, I think people might throw up if they see it.
I mean, there's been a lot of talk about, well, I'm going to hold my thoughts here for just a second because we may have a bit of a fight brewing with this Pantheon clearing vision and coming over here with a wave stacking. See what they can get done. I mean, Taeyoon still has his flash.
Well, there's an R button. And in goes the Pantheon. deokdam, I believe, should be dead. Does get shielded for quite a large number. But Raptor able to drop the turret aggro. Clozer just going to put him into the Between Worlds, though. And now Kellin, can he actually hold down this Aurora for long enough? The answer is no. Just going to kick him away. And so it's a 1-for-1.
And as it has been so many games for DNS, it is Clozer against the world now in this one. He is so huge, gets another kill, gets the punish there, but the damage had been done.
I think this time around, though, it's a little bit different, though, because the team is kind of winning. It's not just Clozer by himself, but they're still in a deficit. They're 1,000 gold ahead.
And deokdam got a kill.
And they have a Drake.
Yeah, they got a Drake. deokdam got a kill earlier. And like you mentioned, the serrated Dirk value is going to fall off for a while. And this is an Aurora that can hold this composition together and actually be a great deterrent into BNK when they're starting to fall behind as they are. And the Annie in the side lane is just not going to have fun at all into this fed Aurora.
Does Annie
need
care?
Resources.
That's kind of the question. Still, I mean, deokdam dying there towards the bottom side does mean that the farm lead is going to extend ever further for Taeyoon, who throws down another culling. And life dropping the beat ain't really going to be helping out there too much.
Raptor's here, so they can actually keep this ward.
Yep, protecting the control wards. Certainly high value.
The lead that Clozer has in this side lane right now, you know, you mentioned does Annie care? She doesn't really care about being behind sometimes, but sometimes it means that you lose your turret. Like, you might actually start losing turrets because he's so far behind. Aurora is the type of champion that, as you guys can see on the minimap right now, will just be like, you can't, I don't have my ult, and you can't even be on this turret. It's a 1v1, the junglers are both on vision, and you're out of here, and I'm killing plates, and my lead is getting bigger. Like, see here? He's just like, bye, see ya. So yeah, the Annie will still do a lot of things later on, but he also is powerful in team fights, but he's just getting free money from his advantage right now, and VicLa has to respect it.
And where is the answer, right? He's down there, he's taken a whole bunch of plates from that turret as well as Raptor. Started off the Rift Herald, that's what he was looking to trade it for. But even then, DNS just move into the river, bully him away.
And I think Raptor might need to bail this Annie out, or at least defend side pressure, as, you know, with this Gnar right now, it's not necessarily going to be much better into this fed Clozer right now.
It's Taeyoon looking to get alongside Kellin and try to take back this Rift Herald, as now Raptor is on it once again. Playing a little bit of Shelly ping pong right now. That's all right, Pyosik. Does he actually go in? Fire kick is fantastic, as there's the arrow onto the Milio. Kellin flashes out of the way of the Cataclysm beautifully, and now Clear comes in. The flash wallop doesn't quite work out there though, and Raptor is the one that's able to grab that kill. He does go down, but not before Taeyoon's also able to kill deokdam. Good flash away as Clozer comes in with all of that damage, and VicLa able to flash his way to safety as well. Clear now with a massive health bar advantage is looking to see what he can get done, but the beat drop is there from Life to try and help out. Wait, Hyperproc, and Clear is still looking for more. Oh man, this reminds me of the old DRX Clear, you know, when he got his hands on the Gnar and just slaughtered people in Challenger. Oh,
it was
man.
Crazy. I mean, this fight here looks favored for the side of DNS because of the Herald being aggroed, but Pyosik gets kicked, and then the flash here from Kellin, it's so difficult to kill this Milio. He just cannot get access. Pyosik tries again and is blocked, and then they burst down the Jarvan. The Ashe is dead. And then on this part of the fight, Clear's got full health, and Clozer came in so late and dropped his ult for...
deokdam, the spear? Not gonna lie. Didn't have that one charged up, so that was never happening. And so Raptor just going to have to move away. Still, no summoners, no ulti, nothing here for deokdam. He has to go back home.
One of the big problems in that fight was that Clozer TP'd in.
Oh, it's a Serpent's Fang, by the way.
Yeah, I mean,
never mind, I love it.
Well,
I love it.
If you get the money and you could just put together a Serpent's Fang, it's cost efficient, it's fine. If they fell further behind, though, it would have just gotten worse and worse.
If it was collect Lucian for some crazy reason, that would have been terrible, but I actually love this. I think you have a lot of utility, and Life will be throwing out shields and stuff like that. It's great. I think that's fine.
Clozer did use his TP for that attempt to try to salvage the fight. Did not get that to succeed, and now has to kind of walk over here to continue to contest this Herald, because it is still up, and it is still very relevant in this game to get that, and he will just give VicLa a lot of power bottom side, and I think BNK with that ult backup from Clozer now will give this away, but it's still a win for this Annie. And VicLa's just going to get this entire turret, potentially. It might even be first brick. Oh, never mind, he's going to TP in for the...
It's BNK FEARX, and there is a team fight available. They will go and try to do team fight, as the walk-in and steal is not quite going to work out there for Raptor, as now Clear could be in trouble. Finds a two-man now, though, as they just explode the Ashe. deokdam just having a terrible time here today, and the Milio is able to keep everyone so healthy. Clozer dancing around the backline, but just doesn't do anything, and Pyosik, he's just going to jump on Shelly and say, get me the hell out of here.
Well, he will get out, and it works out. They actually do force the fight. They get there just in time and pick up 3.
I swear, like...
I mean, you're right. Like, it's BNK. Of course they're going to do it. But I was like, I mean, just get the free first brick, you know? Like, they have too much setup. Look at the setup here for DNS. They've got DuDu on this flank. It's hard for Clear to get access with his Gnar bar, right? Clozer is looming here. Does have his ultimate available as well. And they get the Herald. However... Clear just pops off on the Gnar, gets his bar, gets the 2 into the wall. The Seraphine ultimate is just a delay, and Duckers just dies right away. Yeah. And once he's dead, this fight is just completely unplayable. Clear is popping off in this game.
He's a monster, but I do want to say, I think we should just start calling Kellin a paramedic. This guy's like enchanter support, more in like the healing and saving his teammates playstyle, is so good. Like, giving him a champion like Milio, who is meta right now, is... I just feel like it's perfect for the way he wants to play the game.
Absolutely. He's the only pro player whose favorite soul is Chemtech Soul.
True. Gotta give me that healing and shielding power, baby.
And they are going to get this turret, by the way. It'll be second of the game for them and not first, but they will grab it. And that's a ton of extra money, and suddenly went from a very close game that the margins were thin. The Ashe was looking good too. It's looking real rough. Clozer still got his gold lead, but it has shrunk massively.
Yeah, it is dwindling, and VicLa doesn't even really need all that much gold. To be honest, he just wants to drop bears on people, and he will certainly be able to do that at the game position right now. Malignance is now done, And, oh, the longest boomerang of all time.
Yeah, we had the crazy auto yesterday.
Yeah, that auto was so fun because also there was the teleport back as well.
It still hits him. It's going to actually delay his return to lane because Clear has red buff.
Oh, man.
I mean, I don't think it matters really at all, but it's very funny.
It is definitely funny. That's all right. Taeyoon will be able to get the shove here in this mid lane as well. The entire outer ring has now just been decimated. And BNK FEARX, the swing of gold is just kind of huge in this moment.
And I think that now we're at a point where this burst can really, truly do its job.
Gets the flash out of Kellin. That is a big deal. Fire kick not going to land on the Pyosik there as Raptor obviously still wanted to go in.
Flash.
Remember, Raptor, you can ult in. It's fine.
Flash for Milio, not the greatest get. It is going to potentially be relevant later on, but
I do think that if they
away.
blow him up, it could be very, very good. Because Kellin has been taking care of his friends.
Yeah, he does like to stay near his friends at the beginning of the team fight so he can ult them, but if he positions well, it's going to be tough to punish this, but any flash you can get is massive, especially with something like an arrow. I mean, that is on an incredibly low cooldown that did not have to use anything else, so it's definitely going to put it in the wins column, but I think they would have much preferred to get Taeyoon's flash, for example. Still, a large victory, but they will need many more to get back in this game. It is Ocean Soul, and the next dragon is up, and even if they get prio for it, I think it's pretty easy for BNK FEARX to just nope out of it.
Yeah, I do
push
think
instead with the Pantheon.
I feel like DNS probably pretty happy with the fact that it's an Ocean Soul this game. Not the most massive amount of value, and they have a very large Aurora who just wants to kind of burst people 100 to 0. That being said, I mean, Raptor can buy a lot of time with his Aegis and things like that. And Kellin can certainly help keep everyone alive. So maybe actually Ocean Soul is terrifying. I'm not entirely sure. There's the flash in, flash stun from Raptor, a pretty classic move of his as life, yeah, just runs out of ability to escape. Not even able to flash there, stunned up and destroyed.
And the Aurora decides not to show, or not to show up, and he is going to try to get that top turret, but I mean, so much damage has been done here to get the kill. They're going to get a plate on this inner, and maybe even more with the cannon wave. They get 2, and they can still just kite back and take the dragon. Again, Clozer gets this. It'll be their first turret of the game, and he is still ahead, but I don't know if it means anything anymore, as they're even going to get plate gold here on this bottom turret. It's almost like they got Baron.
Yeah, exactly. They sort of just rotated over to take this, because I think DNS assumed that they were going to try and defend top lane or try to go for a Drake or something like that. At least use multiple people as the teleport out from the Annie. Pyosik is over here looking to steal away some jungle, because I guess he just wasn't allowed access to his own.
I think that what they wanted to do there was to try to set something up with Clozer's burst onto whoever comes over to defend, but the arrow also was used by deokdam to try to stop the teleport so you get the turret. It's just a second too late, as life here does not flash, cannot get enough distance here after the Pantheon engage comes through and does get burst down. Luckily for him, it does not flash afterwards, and the lead continues to grow. Sometimes you have to wonder, like, was there anything better a team could do in this position after that fail there, after they lose their Seraphine? And the answer is, I think, probably not. You know, Clozer decided to push there. They wanted to deny the TP. They failed. And then Pyosik was there in case they could catch somebody, but they don't, because VicLa just ults the wave and says no.
I do think leaving Clozer in the top lane was the right call. But it is just feeling like a dire scenario. As in goes Raptor one more time. Life is already down exceptionally low, though, as the DN Soopers this time are looking for the re-engage. Pyosik goes in. He's going to take the Death Chamber exit, and now Taeyoon's flashing forward. deokdam taking a lot of damage there as DuDu looking to get on top of him, and doesn't make it to the Lucian. The kiting from this guy is actually working very, very well, and now he's looking for even more. VicLa is going to go down, but now Clozer needs to try and keep the rest of his teammates alive. The spear picks the gap. That's 6 points over to Raptor, but that is 3 on the floor in trade for the Annie, and BNK FEARX, they're pinging the Baron.
People who were talking about the Taeyoon Diablo trade, saying that Taeyoon's playstyle was never going to work for BNK, weren't there for the Becca days. They weren't there for the Becca days. They weren't there for the Taeyoon June days, okay? Yep. We were there. We saw it. Sometimes we were asking Taeyoon to calm down and slow down because it cost him a lot in his early career, but in moments like this when he's fed, he absolutely is that aggressive guy. He's had it in his DNA since day one here at the LCK, and unfortunately for Pyosik, like, he got the engage, but they're so far behind that they just kind of look at the engager and he disappears. So like, ah, yes, you're on top of us. That's what we prefer.
Yep, and BNK FEARX were even able to wait for VicLa so that he could get a Baron buff as well. It's actually very kind of them. They're going to have a look at this team fight once again.
Yeah, Pyosik wants to turn this.
No, deokdam, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, mate. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, dearie me. Goodness gracious. Golly gee willikers.
You know, talking about the trade, it was heavily reported that DNS were also trying to get Diablo. Well, claim Odin denies.
Not the time, Wolf!
Odin denies this claim. He is having a rough game, and a lot of it is not his fault. Some of it is, though, and this game is very much kind of off the rails for DNS. Again, not many good choices you can make at this point.
Yeah. BNK just can kind of do no wrong at this stage. Have to say, though, BNK FEARX looking really good, despite the fact that they do have a complete change-up on the bottom side. Losing your star player can actually be a huge deal, as Taeyoon decides to just dash over it for almost no reason, but may have seen Clozer coming on over as well, and he's able to create some space. Clozer trying to do the damage, but he just gets brutalized by Taeyoon, who will kill deokdam. Look to try and kill even more, as we're just going to follow him while DuDu is in the backline seeing what he can do, and it's not going to be anything at all. Clear is able to lock down a double kill, and there is the lonely Renekton that was just left by himself.
Look, you're Australian. Are boomerangs supposed to be that lethal?
I mean, yeah. Yeah, now boomerangs can really hurt, Wolf. They're a hunting tool.
That was a very successful hunt for Clear there at the end to kill Clozer. And I think this game is just a wash here for DNS. They had a bit of a good start. Clozer had the lead, but he alone cannot get it done.
Yep, and DuDu is going to try and do what he can, but that is just going to be the ace completed. VicLa for Nexus is the trade here, and BNK FEARX looking absolutely fine. Despite the trade of their AD carry, they'll take their first Nexus of the new roster.
Taeyoon slotting in, fits this team like a glove so far here in this first game. I think we do have to contextualize that. Unfortunately for the DN Soopers, they're on an 8-loss streak. They have